Hello and welcome to a super-sized WrestleMania weekend edition of the Pro Wrestling Post podcast. As always, I am Mark Blake, and along with the ride is my buddy, my friend, my pal, my amigo. It's Mr. Mark Madison. How you doing, dude?
Doing great. Glad to talk to you, and glad we finally are getting a chance to do this. Forever.
It has been forever. There's us saying, "Oh, we're back with a vengeance. We're going to stick to a schedule," and then I get COVID. Then there's some family issues, and then your household comes down with illness, and
yes,
yeah, that's been us for the last 6 weeks?
Yep.
6 weeks. Wow.
We definitely are going to talk off air about frequency, and I know we really cared about the traction we were building, so we do apologize. But as with marriage and families, there are other obligations that come in, and just time is always want to do this right. And so by doing it right, Mr. Blake puts so much blood, sweat, and tears into it that if it's not right, it doesn't go out. So let's total kudos to him for all the work and effort he does that you don't hear. You just get the final product. You don't get the stress of recording.
Oh, bless you, man. No, thank you very much, but you're just as important. You are. We bounce off each other, and we ask the questions and we get them answered between us. That's what we do, and that's what our listeners like. So again, following Mark's tale, I apologise too. It was that bad that on the day of recording, I started feeling a bit iffy. 30 minutes before recording, I am full on COVID. I am not very well at all. And I shot Mark a message, said, look, I'm gonna pass, gonna rain check as I think I've got COVID. And Mark, to his credit, was like, yep, go talk to me in a couple of days, sort yourself out. So that's what we did. And then, like I said, the snowball happened and real life stuff got in the way.
And we try, everybody should know, we try to sit down a day and a time, and we can all say yes, and then we don't record until we actually record. So please understand that, I don't know, there has been at least about 6 different times over the last 3 weeks we've tried to say, okay, this is the time, and then we come, and then it's like every possible thing that could get in between you and I from recording on either side of the continent or the internet tends to come into play and affects this. So
I would love to say that, some wrestling kind of shenanigans got involved in our reluctance and stoppage, but unfortunately it's been real life stuff. So again, apologize. You just imagine the praying emoji. That's us. Lots and lots of them, times 100. But touching wood as much as I can right now, so it's a good luck charm. We're back. We're back.
Mm-hmm.
But we are back. And as I said at the top, with a super-sized pod today, we have obviously WrestleMania weekend, nights 1 and 2, Saturday, Sunday, to talk about. 2 huge cards, which means a even bigger pod. Are you ready, my dude? Strap yourself in.
Totally in. Ready to go.
Excellent. Let's get on. Before we do that, just, leading you up the garden path a little bit, you lovely listeners. Before we do that, I'm just going to hit a little bit of news. So, day of recording is today. It's Wednesday, April the 3rd. And did a bit of dirt sheets, looking around, seeing what's coming up. I saw 3 kind of headlines that may pique your interest. So I'm going to run these past you first, mate. So the usual WrestleMania, there's been, even from WrestleMania 1 all the way to last year, there are sprinkled with celebrities, with the little stardust going on there. As mentioned on Raw this week, Lil Wayne, he's going to be there. Apparently, he's going to debut his new single. It hasn't been confirmed, even though he did say it on Monday on Raw. Whether or not he got the go-ahead or not, I don't know. So Lil Wayne's going to be there. Now, I'm going to be upfront and honest. I don't follow hip-hop anymore. My head for hip-hop is stuck in the mid-90s to the mid-2000s. Give me some old school gangster and all that kind of stuff, and I'm a happy chappy. So Lil Wayne, if he floats your boat and you lovely listeners, happy days.
Well, I had no idea who Bad Bunny was until I asked my son, and he's like, yeah, he's like the biggest star in the world. I'm like, Okay. I'll just ask everyone to get off my lawn because I felt really old when I do that.
That's
So
that's you and me both. I didn't have a
yeah.
clue who he was, but yeah, he can go a little bit, can't he? Bad Bunny, bless him. Maybe. Oh, hey, there you go. Maybe Little Wayne's going to get involved. Maybe he's the next. He's going to be another crossover. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, John Cena went the other way and released that amazing hip hop album back in the day. Also, more celebrity news. Drew Barrymore, that famous wrestling, nerd and fan, is going to be in attendance. I don't know what night, possibly both nights. But Drew Barrymore, how do you take that?
I didn't know. See, if it was, oh my gosh, Melissa Joan Hart, that I would have
Yes.
gotten because I remember her and Kevin Owens having a banter back and forth a few years
Yeah.
back. But I didn't know that Drew Barrymore was a super fan of wrestling. But if it was Melissa Joan Hart, I would have said, "Oh, okay."
I'm just for the record, folks. I don't know if she's a super fan. I'm just being facetious and just
Oh,
throwing it
okay.
out there, just in case, just in case. But yeah, she's going. She's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Well done to her. I don't know if it's for a TV show. I don't know even if she has the TV show, the chat show anymore. But being a Brit, I don't know these kind of things. My wife would know because she loves things like Maury and Dr. Phil, and I'm out. I don't know any more than that. But she likes that kind of stuff. So she would know, and she's not here.
Ah.
Never mind. Never mind. Just quickly, before we go on to the next subject, as it's in Philly and as the celebs are there, do you think Mr. Sylvester Stallone is going to show up? I know it's normally Arnie is like best pals with Triple H, but being in Rocky Balboa country, do you reckon Sly is going to turn up?
Well, there was discussion about him coming to show up and being a part of it in some shape or form. It would make sense and it would work. Although if they tied it into a match, even if it's not in the crowd, but some sort of a backstage segment, that's still included, right? I think there's one scenario if they played it into a match where it would work. And if that happens, then yes, I think it's very well possible. And if he's going to be there, yeah, they can actually work it in.
Nice. I just want a "Yo Adrian" comment. Just that's all I want. I'll be happy. Okay, so that's the
It might
celeb
not
stuff.
be.
Now,
Yeah, it might not be Yo Adrian. It might be Yo Sammy. So it might be one of those.
oh, now I see where you're going.
See,
Oh,
yeah.
that could work.
Honestly, I watched. If you saw Raw this past week and saw the
I
vignette,
did,
and I
yeah.
posted this up on social media, the the interaction between Chad Gable and Sami Zayn, it gave me WrestleMania, Rocky 4, 5, 3 vibes, however you want to put it, with
No,
Gunther playing the role of Ivan Drago. And does he have more of a Mick characteristic to him, Chad Gable, or does he have more of an Apollo Creed characteristic to
no,
him? I don't
I
know.
felt the. See, I didn't even click. I was watching that. I was watching Raw yesterday with my son, my little wingman, and I said to him, "Oh, I'm getting Rocky vibes here." So I felt like he was
Yeah,
the Apollo Creed. So yeah,
yeah,
I could.
yeah.
Now you said that, that makes sense. Why didn't I click? Oh my god.
And then you
Oh
see he's on the cusp of winning, and the like literally the lifeless body, akin to Apollo Creed's lifeless body,
yeah,
of
yeah.
Chad Gable is tossed into the foyer area.
Ah, see, read between the lines. You're so good at that. I'm a bit more
But I
literal.
think
It's got to be
no, I think it's there. I think we if we want to look at something, I think they present everything. It's just a matter of, are we looking at that? Are we making that connection? Because I don't know how many times. Yeah, I keep seeing the logo and the cracked Liberty Bell, which is what Philadelphia, like, it's a symbol of Philadelphia.
yeah.
But if we don't actually make that connection that it's in Philadelphia, then that constant tie into Rocky. And I don't know if anybody's followed Cody Rhodes, he's adores Rocky, right? So he's
Yeah.
always made mention of it. So I don't see it being too far of a stretch. It's very, very believable that they play up to that.
Well, there you go. You heard it here first, folks. We broke the news that Sly could possibly be there. Okay, another little tidbit that I came across today. lovely listeners, I'm going to talk a bit business now. I'm not Eric Bischoff in the slightest, but just bear with me. TKO owns WWE. Now, behind TKO, there is a big company, or an even bigger company called Endeavor. So TKO own WWE and UFC before I get shot at from people. So Endeavor own both of them. Now, today, it was announced that an investment firm called Silver Lake has bought Endeavor and therefore bought WWE and UFC. Now, in Silver Lake, they actually own the AMC movie theater chain. They own Skype. They own Airbnb. Now, I didn't even know Airbnb could be owned by something like that. I just thought it was just a platform. And many, many more. When I first read that, I was worried because from my limited business knowledge, investment firms kind of either go in, break apart the company and sell it on for huge profit, or hold on to the company and sell it on for huge profit. So what do you think? Should I be worried? Should we be worried? Or should we just let the people with more business acumen deal with it?
As I've often told, something isn't a problem until it's a problem. So we can't really assume that something bad is going to happen unless you start seeing internal changes, because restructuring of any company means, well, if you're going to cut from a budget to make more money, then who starts falling by the wayside? Do your talent go? Do your administration go? Who goes? So what I do think is that, Mr. Blake, that when you do come to Canada and you do have an Airbnb and you do have a complaint to file, you know who else you can go to now, right? You don't have to go to the person that rented out to you. You can go back to Silver Lake
When
and complain to them.
when myself, my wife, and my son come over for our drunk cast, that is possibly what could happen. Yes. Okay. So last bit of news before we get on to the actual main event. The Bloodline. Everyone knows who the Bloodline is. This whole pay-per-view is not revolved around the Bloodline, but it involves them. It's all the way through the card of the Bloodline. Now, yesterday, Lance Anoa'i tweeted a very ambiguous tweet. Now, I don't know if you've not seen it, but once this goes out, I'm going to post a few screenshots of it. He basically said, "Could I be next?" Now, next was spelt capital N, lowercase e, capital X, capital T, question mark. Could you be any more blatant than that?
I don't think he can be more blatant than that, certainly. Definitely foreshadowing him joining the NXT roster. So is that to say that his MLW contract is up? I know Jacob Fatu's is up. I just didn't know if his was as well. So, and yeah, I mean, there's definitely that direct link. There's a direct line. But so is Tama Tonga, but there's no relation. Well,
no, not as far as I know. I think it's just the Samoan hereditary line,
or
rather than
Tongan,
Tonga. So
Polynesian. Yeah. Well, they hold it really, like, I've noticed on our Facebook group, they hold it very, very sacred. So you don't have to be related by blood to not still be considered family. I mean, I think that's beautiful, because if I think of it, you're my brother from another mother and then across the pond. Why can I consider you not like family? And I see where their viewpoint is, right? And people are so hung up with, but they're not really blood related. Well, no, but do you not have friends that are as close to, and that will fight for you like family? I don't know.
Exactly. Just think of, Undertaker and Kane. They're not really blood related at all, but, they always had each other's back. You can be, as you just said, you don't have to be family to be blood. That's the way I see it. I've got loads of family that I'm less close to than people like yourself and Mr. Conroy. Hi, dude, checking the post, please. I'm still waiting. And other people, it's family is what you make of it, not what you're given. That's the way I see it anyway.
Indeed.
Okay, so let's go. It's main event time. This is the Saturday card that was released. When was it released? Yesterday, I think it was. Yesterday afternoon. The Saturday card for WrestleMania. Now, where do we start? Okay, let's start with Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dirty Dom. Does this feel a bit pushed, or Is it really? Is this going to be the blow off now? Even though there was a blow off last year.
I feel it's pushed, like you've suggested. It's certainly creating dissension amongst Judgment Day. Like, why are you working with somebody else, right? Why do you need to do this? I mean, where does Carlito fit in this? Why is he just a hanger-on, stander by? Is it about pushing who Ray thinks could be the future against guys that he thought were the future? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I know the animosity between him and Santos, it wasn't enough to just have a one-on-one. Like, there's a callback to having Dom when Dom clearly lost last year. I don't know. Maybe this
Go on, sorry.
Maybe this is Ray's way of paying back, and that him and Dragon don't go over, and this is him putting his son over and Santos.
I have a theory that I haven't seen online, and I haven't discussed it with anyone, so this is brand new for you. In factions, it's not very often you end up with like 5 members in a faction.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dragon Lee is the 5th member of the LWO. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Sorry, I'm trying to work out in my head. So Dragon Lee's the 5th member of the LWO. Now, could it possibly be that come Saturday, Dragon Lee turns and helps Dom win and joins Del Fantasma?
When he was part of Faction, could he get away with being kind of like the tweener within the group? Like, is he viable to believe that? Can you believe him as a heel? Like, we could believe Santos as a heel. He's done a really good job, and Dom has been good.
I mean, if you're going to turn on Ray on the grandest stage of them all, yeah, you've got instant heel heat, I think. Whether or not he can sustain that, I don't know. But I don't know. I just, as you said, this does seem pushed, and I do feel like this is Dom getting his win back. I can't see Dom losing. So I don't know. It's just a possibility. Don't shoot me down if I'm completely wrong. And
no. I think that's valid. Like, it is valid, but no, I think so. Rather than maybe a turn, we've seen Andrade doing business per se with Judgment Day, or conversations about doing business, right?
Yeah.
Who's to not say that he gets pulled in? Like, we saw this. It's funny, they met like they were meeting for the first time, Santos and Andrade, when they actually had their thing in Royal Rumble. But maybe he gets involved too. There's never been a direct line. Like, they've had issues in the past. I guess pre-pandemic, those two feuded. But it definitely evens the odds if it making it a 5-on-5 there. Or does Carlito turn? Like, there's a few different ways, because Carlito's a believable heel. He's done it.
Oh, he's much better as a heel anyway. Always has been.
Yeah. So there's a couple of ways it can go with it. But I'm totally with you. I think it's forced. I think this is a paying back his son and having him go over.
Yeah. It's as we just said, I can't see anything but a Dirty Dom here. Dirty Dom win. And the crowd, I mean, how many's going to be there? 60, 70,000 just booing the ever-loving crap out of him. Which just fills me with joy so much, because I'm very old school. If you're a heel, you're a heel. Don't be the cool heel. Don't be like the NWO. If you're going to be a heel, get that heat. And my God, does he get that heat. So
He does.
Fair play, Dom. Carry on. Okay, so where should we go next? Let's go with something I have a match I'm looking forward to, I should say. It is the 6-pack ladder match for the tag team championships. Right. I'm going to try and do this in one breath. It is DIY versus The Awesome Truth versus The New Day versus New Catch Republic versus oh my God, I screwed it up. A-Town Down Under versus Judgment Day. Oh my God. Can't believe I ballsed it up.
It's a lot to say. It's a lot to say.
There's going to be 12 men. There's going to be carnage. Ladders, tables, chairs, oh my. both belts or both sets of belts, sorry, are going to be hanging. So I don't know if we're going to get them split. I think we are. The way that they have been talking about it over the past couple of nights is that once one comes down, they've won that title. I don't think they can get back into the match, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So two teams ideally can walk out of there with belts.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
That's the way that I've kind of taken it. The way that they've been
interesting
promoting it. So, yeah. As you all know, the New Catch Republic, Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne are my boys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to win. I really don't think they're going to win. But they're going to steal the show just like they did at the last pay-per-view that we spoke about that I cannot remember. I think it might have been the Rumble. Man, that's so long ago.
Elimination Chamber.
Was it Chamber?
It was.
Oh, of course it was. Yeah, it was Chamber.
Outstanding. Just outstanding. Oh, what a showing. There's so many near misses that you thought they were the ones going to pull it out. They really did a good job, really convincing.
So good. I love them boys. And obviously being a Brit, I can say they're my boys. So screw you. But then you have my wife who adores DIY. She loves Johnny Gargano. She has done for about, oh my God, 8 years when she saw him on the Indies before he got into NXT. And then you've got the amazing pairing of the Awesome Truth, which just cracks me up each and every week. Just seeing R-Truth just be R-Truth is, again, fills my heart with joy. Because if you're going to be a babyface, embrace it. And if you're a bit of a silly sod along the way, happy days. I think the New Day's time is done, unfortunately. They're a bit... They don't need it. They're over like Rover really anyway.
Don't. Yeah.
And then who else we got? A-Town Down Under. Now, there was, I should say, some controversy. Apparently, they were going to be bumped. And Pretty Deadly were going to come in and take their place. But that hasn't happened, and we're 4 days out, and it's still nothing. So I'm hoping they've kept their spot.
So a rumor, and rumors we could take or leave, that yes, I heard the same thing about them being bumped and replaced with a mystery team. Now, WrestleMania is synonymous with mystery teams coming or mystery people just competing last second unannounced, like we saw with the Hardys, right? They were not announced, they came. But a team recently became free agents, and they tend to point to their palm, and their names are Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. So imagine.
Ooh.
Now, will they generate the same kind of reaction in Philly? Maybe, probably. For those that follow these guys are not right around the block. They've been there a while. So it'd be a nice little surprise. But again, rumors are rumors. Make of that what you will. But yeah, if nothing's changed with A-Town Down Under, which I think is a really cool, funny name.
That's a mouthful. Don't like it.
Yeah. It sounds like a movie that, like, good cop, bad cop, or bad cop, worst cop. I don't know.
Straight in the bargain bucket. DVDs at the end of an aisle. Yeah.
Yeah. It's streaming it on Tubi. I guess that would be the next.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
For sure. So yeah, that hasn't happened. My daughter loves Pretty Deadly. Calls them. She's, I'm pretty. Deadly. So my little one will do that. So she just she actually, Mr. Blake was sad when New Catch beat them. So I've never seen an 8-year-old borderline have a temper tantrum.
I'm going to tell you something now. I'm going to tell you something now about Pretty Deadly. So, oh my God, how long? It's about 12, maybe 13 years ago.
Okay.
Me, Mr. Cornroy, and a few others saw Kit wrestle in basically a dingy pub in a town close to us called Chatham, in the Tap and Tin, which is I'm doing it a complete disservice because I absolutely loved it. It's an amazing venue, and we watched him wrestle in another tag team. I can't remember his partner's name, but they were, and him especially, were absolutely trash. So bad. We all walked out of there. So we all walked like, away from there, and then the wrestlers come out and they have a drink at the bar with you. And I remember myself and Mr. Conroy having slightly too much to drink, and we're trying to critique this guy, his wrestling, even though at that point we hadn't stepped a foot in a ring. And we're both saying how crap you are, blah, blah, blah. And he said to us, I swear down, he said to us, "You watch, I'm going to be somebody." And we walked away and went, "Yeah, all right, mate, whatever. You've had too much to bloody drink." And for years, every time I saw him, I was like, he's crap, he's rubbish, he's awesome. So he's absolutely not just made me eat my words, but he's kicked me right up the arse and his foot's come out my mouth. Fair play to the guy. He has over exceeded every expectation I ever had of him, and I bow down to the guy. He is the pair of them, but him especially, are so good. Yeah, that's my little story about them. But going back to what you said about them and New Catch Republic, I was quite happy that they did, because they're my boys.
Indeed. So if two teams walk away with it, I mean, is it Judgment Day's to lose? Do they hold on to one but somebody else walk away with it?
And that depends on whether or not Senor Money in the Bank decides to cash in. I can't see him having a huge title and a tag title at the same time. I could see them losing both titles. I could possibly see Rhea lose the title and then him step up to grab a title either on the night or on Raw. I'm not sure. We'll talk about the women's match later, but
yeah, for sure. Interesting.
I don't know. I don't know. I could see DIY grabbing one of them if they are to be split. I could see Judgment Day holding on to one. I could possibly see Awesome Truth. Maybe that could be a way. It could be Awesome Truth grabbing one and Judgment Day retaining, because there's beef and feud conflict between the two of them. So
if they do split, wouldn't a SmackDown related team make sense to take it? Maybe New Catch does take one.
I don't even know who SmackDown related teams now.
So New Catch would be SmackDown.
Yeah.
DIY would be Raw.
Raw.
Awesome Truth is Raw. A-Town Down Under is SmackDown.
Yeah, I can't see them winning. I can't see them winning. They've been teasing Austin Theory turn. Is it Austin Theory turn? Or someone's going to bloody turn anyway. I've forgotten.
You keep getting betrayed as often as he is. Like, Grayson Waller just leaves him out to dry so many times. It seems like can't kind of blame him for turning. But New Catch winning them on SmackDown, I can't see them not. Those guys are former NXT, like the singles champions.
Yeah,
Dunn's reign was pretty great. Who's to not say it? But they've also had Dunn in a producer role, which is interesting. I didn't see that happening, but yeah.
Yeah, I read that as well. Is there any notification or any whispers of a draft? I mean, coming up towards the new season of WWE, because WrestleMania marks the end of the year. So, I mean, you could end up with two Raw or two SmackDown teams, and they both get drafted onto one or the other. So that could work.
Could be.
I'm not sure. If they are doing a draft, they've kept it really quiet. So there we are, folks. We have no idea.
I've always been a fan of that champion rotating between both.
Yes.
Like defending on both. I think that makes them more that. They've tried to make them. The champions shouldn't be the ones that should be there, right? But are just as much paying attention to everybody and everybody that's competing on both rosters. That way you're trying to elevate New Catch and DIY and Awesome Truth and Alpha Academy and all these teams that should be elevated. So
yeah, I remember those days. I remember it's the early or mid 2000s. You had the champions floating between both, and one month it was a feud against a Raw team, one month it was a feud against a SmackDown team, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I that would work, but I think they stopped doing that because of he who should not be named doesn't like paying tag teams anyway, and that would be an extra payday. So I think that's why they stopped it. So again, folks, welcome to the world of wrestling. No, we're not world of wrestling. We are. That's because I heard them earlier. Welcome to the Pro Wrestling Post podcast, where we actually can't make up our minds about certain matches. I I want New Catch Republic to win one of them. That's what I want. Who wins? I ain't got a clue. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy half an hour of carnage, I think.
I think both. See, if Newt Catch wins one, DIY wins the other. Who's to not say these guys aren't also capable of delivering really quality promos and carrying themselves? There's a lot of responsibility that goes with any title holder, right? They've got to present themselves in a way. Tommaso's really good. His heel run when he was in
Yeah.
NXT as champion was so convincing, and you cared about Johnny Gargano. He was this. He was beaten. He was the everyman. He wrestled with his heart, and then we know that Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne provided their opportunity to convey how they're feeling. Can also deliver on promos. Why can't you have two teams just do that and really be elevated on their specific brands?
So, as I said, we haven't got a clue when it comes to the tag championships, but like I said, just sit back and watch them kick ass. Talk about kicking ass. The Damage Control girls have kind of picked a fight with the wrong women. Bianca, Naomi, and the debuting Jade Cargill will be taking on the Damage Control. Again, I'm going to say this is rushed, because if they were going to push Jade to the moon, they would have promoted this a lot earlier than a week before. I'm not being funny. I don't care about this match. This could actually be me getting up and getting some snacks match.
Yeah. If it's anything, it's a way to help Jade move along and look better, because, boy, to see the way Dakota took that powerbomb last week, and to see how Kyrie took her finisher, like, they really made Jade look like $1,000,000, and it came across really well. So kudos to everybody that really worked to make that work last week. It protects her too. It really, like, she's, if you're putting her in a 6-pack, it's to help get her seasoned and ready, and that's probably why they didn't do a one-on-one right just yet. Not that it's not going to happen, maybe just yet, right? So, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's definitely to protect Jade. I still don't think she's ready, which is why they've put her in a 6-woman tag. But I mean, you're an absolute fool if you put any money on Damage Control winning this. Jade's going to come out looking like $1,000,000, because everyone's going to make her look like $1,000,000, and then we'll see how she is in a singles match going forward. But yeah, it's the power trio, I think, beating Damage Control for this one.
Agreed.
Now, you mentioned this earlier. You mentioned the vignette packages they've been showing of a certain Sami Zayn, the ultimate underdog, against Gunther/Walter. Sorry, folks, still can't get behind it, for the IC title. I still feel a bit, I'm sorry, I'm going to swear it, I still feel pissed that Chad Gable's not in this role. Is there any way that Chad's going to get involved and it's like Sammy's going to get hurt and he goes, no, you go finish it, get it for him, and Chad jumps in and wins or something along those lines? I don't know, but yeah, go on, you crack on while I just have a think.
Yeah, see, this is, they could play this in any one of a couple ways, right? People wanted Chad because it just meant more to him. So if it meant more to him, does he compromise Sammy's? Because Sammy's heart was in question, right? Does he play on Sammy's emotions and cost Sammy because he feels he knows what it takes to beat Gunther? This could be a real emotional roller coaster depending on how they play it. Because yeah, people were really perplexed with it. I was surprised that it was as divided as they were, because people were really pulling for Chad to have won it. But Sammy is equally in that spot where you can care about him. So they've managed to still keep Chad a part of this storyline. I do like that. Unlike Bret Hart and Hulk Hogan, no, you go do it, which is definitely a WrestleMania callback. It could work. It could definitely work. And I think people would be happy with that. Maybe it's the Canadian in me. Maybe it's always seeing that Sammy makes you believe him all the time, and he's got that will, and people are either for or against that underdog character. I think it's great, and he pulls it off. So I don't think Gunther's reign I don't know. Do both
Okay, here's a
major
question
range
for you.
and
Do
high
do you,
arms?
do you really think that Gunter is going to? I'll rephrase that. If it's not Sammy, if it's not Chad, who the hell is going to take that title off of him?
Braun Breaker.
Oh, now there's a name. Yeah, what? It comes in and does an AJ Lee and a
Oh,
um,
eventually.
or even a Paige, on her first
Yeah,
night
yeah,
when she
yeah.
that could work. I didn't even think about that. Hmm.
He's just that intense. You need somebody that is just gonna burrow right through somebody, not somebody that has to will themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the problem is this whole journey, like they're taking us into like he's got the heart, he's got the desire just for him to lose. Now they've got another one, that same similar storyline happening with Cody. You
well, I was
can't
going to
do it
say,
twice to your fan base. You can't do it twice to your fan base without
yeah.
them being like, "Are you killing? You're just killing us. Why are we
Well,
watching?"
I mean, plus, Sammy got screwed over last year at Chamber where he faced off for the title and
Yeah.
walked away second best. Yeah, yeah. I really, really want Sammy to win. Don't get me wrong, folks. I love Sammy. I loved him before he was in NXT, when he was on the
Mhm.
Indies.
Some generic wrestler.
Some generic wrestler that a lot of people don't know about, but the guy is gold. I saw him at NXT Wembley when he came back from his super bad injury that he had, and the
Yeah.
place absolutely rocked. I've never heard an ovation like it. It was completely off the charts. The guy, as you said, is the ultimate underdog. Even when he's a heel, it's hard to hate him. I want him to win. I think Gunter/Walter is going to win, and that
Yeah.
pains me to say.
I'm kind of having a hard time disagreeing with that, and I'm feeling the exact way. Right, my heart's pulling in one direction, but my
Yeah.
head is pulling in another. So
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it's but if this Bron Breaker theory of yours happens on Raw on Monday, then
Mhm.
go get yourself a lottery ticket.
He's the only one that I could see that comes in like an absolute bulldozer, a la Ultimate Warrior, that can end a streak when he's been a fighting champion, right? He's fought guys about his size, maybe not necessarily bigger, but about his size when he fought Drew and Drew and Sheamus, and
Hmm.
he's had battles, but it would need to be an absolute buzzsaw that just blows through him. And Braun, when he debuted on SmackDown, came in and they rung the bell and he hit the spear within like 3 seconds and won. Just, I'm not sure if you saw his debut match. It was
Yeah.
literally like a chainsaw cutting down a giant redwood tree.
Well, keep an eye on NXT Stand and Deliver, and if he drops those tag belts, I think you're halfway there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Put $5 aside for that lottery ticket.
Yeah, I should.
Now, I have some Mania by the numbers. I was going to list them later on, but I'm going to quickly drop one in now. This WrestleMania will just be the third time in WrestleMania history that a real-life brother versus brother match takes place. The first match was Bret Hart against Owen Hart. The second match was Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy. And this third match is Jay versus Jimmy Uso. The build to this has been really, really, really good for the last, 11 months, basically. A slow build in WWE. Bloody hell. Who would have thought it? But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to this. I think it could possibly be one of, if not the match of the night.
Hard to argue that. Like, who else do you trust to give you their best than your family, right? So, yeah, it's going to be something special. I know of the first two brother matches, Brett Owen, I can't speak for you, but I think topped Jeff Matt.
By a
But
1,000,000%.
yeah, but they were just cut technically from a different cloth, right? So what are we going to see here? I think we're going to see main event show why he's main event and
Hmm.
why he's elevated, and fans are just super yeet for him and behind him. So
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
yeah.
whoa, 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 whoa! Did you just say yeet?
Yes, I did. I said they're super yeet for him. I worked that in. I worked that in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've never heard you say that. I'm sorry.
Oh
Carry
yeah.
on. Oh man.
uh, let's compose. Let's compose each other ourselves and
Folks, we're
get
two
back to this.
middle-aged men. We shouldn't be saying the word yeet. So, fair play, dude. Fair play.
Uh, okay. So, who walks out? Which brother is standing? Yeet or no yeet?
How many yeets can we get in this segment? Right. Okay. Um, I'm going to go no yeet due to Solo getting involved. Jay hasn't got any backup because they're obviously involved in a certain biggest world, tag match extravaganza later on in the show. So unless maybe Lance Anoa'i or someone else comes and covers his back, I think no yeet for the win.
Okay, well, I'm gonna pull yeet simply because I think Solo will be so preoccupied with the bloodline rules that it will be just brother versus brother. I don't think we're gonna get any interference in that one. I think either way, an Uso is gonna win, and I think we won't be spoiled by the result. Although
So if
I
I
like how I like how Jimmy has pivoted from being I say this idiot brother to the brother that is acting like I'm the bigger brother and you should be listening to me. He's kind of made
yeah,
a nice enough pivot.
he's very conniving too. I like this little
Yeah,
the
yeah.
evil glint in his eye. He's really embraced it. It's since they've split and gone their own ways. He's shot up as well. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a good match. Talking about um, Brett and Owen and Matt and Jeff, I can see this match being a combination of the two with
Yeah.
a ton of intensity thrown in as well. Yeah, I think there's going to be some high flying extravaganza going on because that's what they have in their repertoire. But I also think they're going to show people that they're not just that they can wrestle, they can put on a clinic, so to speak. They're going to show. I think they're going to turn a few heads this weekend. You're a yeet. I'm a no yeet. Let's see who
All
wins.
right. Let's
And
see.
whoever wins, I'll tell you what. Whoever wins, the other person has to buy a yeet T-shirt.
Oh gosh. Okay. For the loser? For the
Yeah,
winner?
for the
Okay.
yeah. Well, whichever way you look at it. I mean, we're both losers at the
Okay.
end of the day, saying yeet about 20 times. Okay, where are we up to? So, what have we got left? We have two matches left on day one. We have Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. Did you watch? What was it? Was it Raw with the
Yes.
where Rhea was on Ariel's MMA Hour podcast? I think it was. Did you see that?
Caught CM I caught CM Punks. I didn't catch
No. So Rhea
Rhea's.
was there,
It was
and
after. It was after, right?
I'm not sure, but it was on the day of, so it was on Monday. And
Okay.
Rhea was on Ariel's podcast, and the WWE cameras were there. And
Mhm.
obviously, this is all scripted. And Ariel's talking to her, and his phone goes, and he goes, "Oh, hold on, I've got to take this. It's Becky." So he answers the phone and puts her on speaker. And Becky says, "Oh, I'm here. I'm just ringing in and want to talk to Rhea and this kind of stuff." And there's a little back and forth, and then all of a sudden, Becky walks in, basically fronts up to Rhea, says, "You do not talk about my daughter again. You do not talk about my family." And the intensity started there, which then resulted in the pull apart brawl on Raw itself. Wow. It's really good. It's really,
Really?
really good. I can't wait for this. Although I have a feeling I'm going to get let down. I don't know why. And there's going to be one match on the card that's going to let me down. I think it's going to be this one. But
Yeah.
yeah, the build up to this has been absolutely great. And I'm going to say Becky wins.
Interesting. Why do you feel like Becky's going to win? What's pulling you in that direction?
Rush you to ask me that when I take a drink. um,
It's like, he's going to take a drink right now. Let me ask.
I think Becky's going to win because this is either the beginning of the end of the Judgment Day, or it's like I said earlier, everyone's going to lose their belts for Judgment Day, which means that Senior Money in the Bank has to step up and prove that he is the big boss. It's not Mummy. It's not anyone else. It's him, and he will cash in and get the title. It's one of those two scenarios for me, but I'm hedging my bets. But yeah, I think Becky's going to win.
So I know the WWE wants to hold on to an act until like the wheels fall off, until they're not over anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to look at fan reaction and who's getting that reaction. And it's not to say that Becky's not, because Becky is super over, super passionate. They love her, and we hope that that will always continue. But there's some things that kind of play into my thinking of why she wouldn't win, and where I'm leaning towards Rhea. So Rhea's, I mean, what she did on social media, or what she did at the house show, it got a buzz. It got a buzz. Now,
I mean, I saw it, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Shayna Baszler offering to take one was just hilarious too, right? So Becky, in complaining about what about what Rhea did, and then not wanting her to talk about her family. If it wasn't somebody that was so over, it rubs, like, it would come across to me like a protective parent, but somebody that philosophically is just on a different page. She's so over that it blurs the lines. I'm like, fans are going to be like, well, she's just complaining because she's older and she just can't relate and it's not cool and yada, yada, yada. So this is where I'm conflicted with Rhea losing, because of Judgment Day, she's the most over, in my opinion, at least. She leads. She's the voice. They stop talking when she tells them to stop talking, and you like that really strong female role. But there's no signs that shows that she's slowing down. And holding the title over a year, that's pretty massive. Like, and the WWE's been really good about having long title reigns for women. Becky, Bianca, now Rhea, they're really committed to it. So much more over that you see her, now that I frame it like that you see her overtaking Rhea in that role. Keep in mind, Becky's contract is set to go, I think, in June.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, she's in the midst of promoting her book, which I get from a PR standpoint. But let's look at all those other dots. Is she more over than Rhea, that you see her like usurping her for the title?
Okay, since you frame it that way, then no. But I mean, if you want to talk about contracts, I could throw Drew McIntyre at you. I mean, he's been on a handshake. It's been on a handshake deal since January, I think. So everyone says. The Rhea train, I don't think. I know. If Rhea lost the title, it doesn't stop her momentum. What is it? The title doesn't make the man makes the title, or in this case, the woman.
Mm-hmm.
She's made that title something important. She doesn't. I think she's not gone over the title so much that she doesn't need it, but I think that she could lose it and still keep her momentum, still be relevant, and maybe take a step back for, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but for Jade, which is I think where they're going to go with her. I'm sorry, I'm still going to stay. I'm going to say Becky, but I know I can see and feel where you're coming from with your point of view.
Be fun. We'll see what happens.
Indeed. Another match I can't wait for. God, that sounded so generic, didn't it? Oh, so disingenuous. Seriously, folks, I am looking forward to that match. Okay.
You are.
It's main event time. It's Saturday night. In the UK, it's probably going to be about, I don't know, 5:30 in the bloody morning. But it's main event time. And it's Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins against the powerhouse one-time, one-of-a-kind tag team of Roman Reigns and The Rock. A, who saw this coming a year ago? B, what do you think?
Would not have seen this tag team match a year ago. I'm sure signs were pointing to a one-on-one between Rock and Roman, but not a tag team. They made a sharp pivot around after the announcement, the post Royal Rumble, all that jazz, based off fans' reaction. What I think is, even after this past week with the beating that Roman, it's going to look like one of two things. I think that the tag match is going to lead to having major implications on the main event the next night. So I think if it's Sunday would be bloodline rules. How many more obstacles does Cody still have to overcome? But there's another caveat that maybe they won't give it as much attention, but they did. Apparently Roman said if he loses to Cody, he's done.
Did he?
He said this apparently either in the documentary, maybe if we release this and somebody's can shed light. I didn't see the Peacock documentary on Roman or the A&E, one of them. It was either A&E or it was on, I don't know. Probably it was on A&E because now it seems like they're both overlapping. A&E has ones and Peacock has other ones. That if he loses to Cody, then he's done. Like, and this is just it. So, like, have the stakes been raised? I can't be 100% confirmed on that, but I'm just putting it out there. You might want to edit this out after so we don't look shameless, but maybe see if do a quick search on the internet if it makes sense that he said he would be done if he loses. What does that mean? Well, the booking of this title run, how do you end it? Anyways, I'm deviating. The tag team match, I think Rock and Roman win. And I think it has implications because the loss there plays on Seth and will have a trickle down, and then the odds are even more stacked against Cody. You?
Yeah. Even before hearing you talk there, I was under the impression that it was going to be Rock and Roman to win. It's another hurdle. As you said, it's another hurdle for Cody to get over and finish this story. I mean, winning that way the next night on Bloodline rules, etc. I mean, the guy jumped through all the hoops that they kept putting him through, and his triumph. That's your story. That's your ending. So yeah he's going to win. They are going to win. How much damage they're going to inflict on the pair of them? Which members of the Bloodline turn up? Could that be extra members joining? Like I said earlier about Lance and possibly many more. Who knows? I mean, up until what you just said then, I didn't know anything about Roman possibly throwing a towel in because being a Brit, we're not allowed access to anything on Peacock. Because I went on I went on the network on Tuesday thinking, oh, I'm going to go and watch that Bray documentary and cry my eyes out. And it wasn't on there. And I threw a literal fit.
Yeah, and we as Canadians don't have access to it either because we don't have Peacock.
Yeah.
That's a US-based streaming service, right? We watch it directly from the network. So I think that was Arts and Entertainment, which had the Roman Reigns Legends one, where they do those documentaries. It feels like they've been floating a lot. It's been talking about legends and then rivals and stuff like that. That's what's been happening with them. But I'm not 100% confirmed on that, but I could have sworn somebody had passed that along. But I mean, look at this booking. You have a 1,300-day title reign, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do after the loss? Like, what is?
You do what Hogan did. You just walk away for a little bit. You take some time off.
Yeah.
You go film some Thunder in Paradise. Something along those lines.
Is that night one?
I think that's night one. So well, hold on. We're in agreement that Rock and Roman are going to win.
Yep.
That they're gonna. Are they going to finish? Would they finish? Would the closing shot of WrestleMania Night 1, would that be the pair of them stood over Cody and Seth all bloodied up, etc., holding the ones and things like that. Would they put a serious beatdown on the pair of them, ready for the next night?
I think we're gonna be left questioning like the physical like place of Seth and Cody and where their placement is the next night, especially if that bleeds into Sunday morning and the event doesn't finish till after midnight when they're gonna have to do it all again like hours later. Right?
Ah, days when pay-per-views finished after midnight. Just a distant memory for me. As I said to you earlier, listeners, my WrestleMania weekend actually starts on Thursday at 4 p.m. UK time because I'm watching Defy. So, and it's going to carry on all the way through. So I'm going to be, come Tuesday morning, I'm going to be an absolute sleep-deprived zombie. And I don't care because I love Mania season. But yeah, that's the end of night one. That's it. They're going to be stood tall, blooded mess, and everyone's going to be thinking, "Oh my God, are they going to be okay for the next night?" And cue the social media teams who do a great job, by the way.
Indeed.
Okay.
So what's on tap for night 2?
For night 2, once I get my paperwork, hold on. I'm trying not to make too much of a noise and my mic picks it up. So night 2, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches on night 2. Let's go with one I have no feelings left, right, or centre, but I'm hoping it's going to be a good street fight, a good Philly street fight, as Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits take on the Final Testament. Another one of those matches that seemed crowbarred in at the very last minute, but is what it is. I don't really care, as harsh as it sounds. And B, like I said just then, it's a street fight. Street fights are normally cool. Good way to start the show as well. Get the fans off hot and ready. Bobby Lashley, Street Profits for the win. For no reason other than I prefer them.
Let's pivot and let me go with Sasha. I mean, I have a hard time going against guys that deserve it, but I'm going to be with you on that one. Let's go with Bobby Lashley and Street Profits for the win.
I've never been a fan of AOP, even when I was in NXT when they got called up. And,
Really?
No,
why not?
No. Why? Have you seen their finisher? Have you literally seen their finisher? The Super Collider. Man, you hear that? Super Collider. Oh, I wonder what that could be. That sounds amazing because it's got the word super in it. What is it? I will put you up in a powerbomb position. We'll touch each other's backs and then we'll powerbomb you.
Okay,
How is that? Like that? How is that a finisher? Seriously.
Yeah.
Right? So, everyone, my wingman's called Logan. So, Logan was sat there. We watched Raw, and there was obviously the build to this match that happened. He can't remember watching AOP in NXT. So, he watched them hit this, quote, Super Collider, saw him hit it, and he went to me, why are Street Profits not kicking out? Why are they not getting up? If a 12-year-old is saying that about your finisher, change the damn finisher. It is awful.
Yeah. Well said.
So on that basis,
they look the part. I mean,
yeah.
If you're gonna super collide them, like, why don't you have them both up and literally smash them into each other? Not just like touching backs. Like, you're gonna give him like a spine buster, and you're gonna give him a spine buster, and you literally just charge into each other.
Or
and
you
then
could just
twist and
Yeah, you could just power bomb them, right? But put a 1 second delay. Put a 1 second delay, and the second guy can go on top of the first guy. Just
there you go.
It's not rocket science. Like I said, if a 12-year-old says your finisher is crap, change the goddamn finisher. It's
well said. Okay.
But yeah, Bobby Lashley and Street Profits for the win, just because I prefer Street Profits and I own seriously a ton of red Solo cups. So bigging up the red Solo cup crew. Yeah, boy.
Go for it.
Okay, then let's go to a feud I didn't even know was actually happening until I watched Raw. LA Knight, against AJ Styles. Now, before I talk about the match, when I went over to see you guys, when me and my family, come over to see you guys in August, I hadn't watched really a lot of WWE. And I'm not too sure if you listeners know, but whilst I was out there, we went to see SmackDown in the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, which was Edge's last match. And Mark was saying to me, "Oh, I wonder how the crowd's going to take to LA Knight." And I knew LA Knight, I knew of, but I didn't know much about him and the "yeah" catchphrase because I'd not really watched a lot of WWE. I was an AEW mark basically. So we sat there and beers in hand, having a good time, watching our kids getting totally involved, absolutely loving it. And then LA Knight's music started, and I kid you not, folks, that is the epitome of a Road Warrior pop. That guy was so flipping over. It was unreal. I've got tinnitus anyway. That made my bloody tinnitus even worse, just hearing that crowd pop out of their shoes. Knowing now that he's now in a feud with AJ, it's got to be LA Knight, surely, isn't it?
So would this be, I guess, AJ and him, they were part of that match at Rumble. I'm afraid if his value or how they're valued him from where he should have been holding a title of some kind, and I just don't want them to have missed that lightning in a bottle. And maybe this is just as important a feud. I'm with you and hoping that LA Knight is the one that's going over and beating a very intense AJ Styles. But I think here, in this instance, I can see LA still over enough that he's the one that's going to walk away with the win. It's just a matter of how do you build from this with him? Like, he was competing for the title, he was challenging Roman. Now what? Like, is he going to be a contender for the US title? So,
I remember us talking. I remember us talking in the last pay-per-view, which was obviously, now I found out, the chamber match. We were discussing whether or not it would be LA Knight, Kevin Owens, Randy, and Logan Paul. So, is there any, as you said, do you reckon they might have not taken the liking to LA Knight now, which is why they've pulled him from that match? Because that was the rumors going around.
Oh, really? So it would have been a 4-way for the US title.
Yeah, that was the rumors.
So I don't know if they pulled him because they don't like him, but then who do they pit AJ against? Like, would you throw everybody in there and make it a 5-way? I think that's...
Well, you've got a 6-pack on night 1. You could do the same again just for a singles title on night 2. Especially as it was pretty much everyone that was in the chamber anyway. So apart from Drew, so you could easily just put Logan Paul's, title up, and away you go.
Yeah, I guess you could. I don't know. I guess post Mania is like, what are we looking at with LA Knight? I don't know. You're just throwing. I think you run that risk of having too much repetition. No, like, do you want to have too many multi-man or multi-women matches? Because there's the 6-women tag. There's the multi-team tag team match.
Hey, look, if New Japan, if AEW can do multi-man matches on every card, surely they can do that. Do a couple more than usual. But
understood.
But, who are we? We don't book the shows. We're just lowly fans that create.
So who's your pick?
Who's my pick? It's LA Knight. I'm good. I'm going to say it's LA Knight. AJ Styles can use this loss as even more momentum to be an arsehole, basically.
Yeah.
He's coming across as like a entitled, spoilt brat talking to Nick Aldis the other day, and I could just see him. He's basically, what was it? I read somewhere that someone asked him how the OC feel about AJ at the moment, and AJ was like, "I don't care about them. We're done." So that's all split. He can go his own way and delve even deeper into this dark character, and I don't know. I don't know, but I think LA Knight needs this win more than AJ Styles. AJ can take the hit.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we finish this, I'm going to Literally walk into my living room and just shout yeet and yeah, and then just see what happens. So my wife might message you later, just say, what the hell have you done to my husband?
For sure. I turned the clock like 20 years.
Okay, so now what shall we do? Let's go with, we've just spoken about it. Let's go with the US title. So we have, I've just said so many times then, I do apologize. We have Kevin Owens against Randy Orton against Logan Paul in a 3-way / whatever it is. I can't think of the WWE version. Triple threat. Oh my God, I had a brain fart. I'm liking this. I'm loving Logan Paul. Again, folks, my son is 12. He is absolutely, he adores Logan Paul. I think because of Prime more than anything else. He has about 20 bottles of Prime on top of his wardrobe, empty bottles, cleaned out empty bottles of Prime that they're like bloody Pokemon cards, except they don't want to trade them. It's like they're showing them off and whatever. Yeah. But he loves him, and because he loves him, I've seen a lot of him, and I've heard his Impulsive podcast a few times, and he's pretty entertaining. He's a funny, entertaining dude. Will he retain, considering that in times past, Logan has brought in some outside people to help him win matches? People like KSI, who I know very well. Not personally. That would be such a flex if it was, but not personally. He's obviously got his brother. Now, whether or not he's in intense training for his fight, inverted commas, against Mike Tyson, who would have thought I would have said that in 2024? I don't know, but I think Logan is going to scavenge a win through outside interference.
Okay, well, first off, you called me on using yeet and saying yeah in the podcast, and you brought up the word flex.
I know.
Okay, so what world are we in here?
The moment I said it, I was like, oh no.
I don't even know. I don't even know how to use that in the proper context. Like, okay,
oh my God.
I have to ask the kids, what does that mean? What does that mean? Okay, but I think Logan retains. He announced that SummerSlam is going to be in Cleveland, and he has ties to Cleveland.
Yeah,
from Cleveland.
Yeah, he's from Cleveland.
So yeah, I don't see them having him lose the title just to regain it a few months later. I think he walks out the winner, and I see Randy and Kevin making him look like great, but I mean, he does a great enough job doing that on his own. Just who takes the W in this match, right? Who takes the loss in this match, the L?
Personally, I'll give it to Kevin, because Randy's not long come back. I mean, he's 6 months back, or whatever it is, Survivor Series he came back. He needs to look strong. He needs to continue to look strong because of the fans. Whether or not he's going to get pushed for a main event shot, I don't know. But Kevin can take the loss easily.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Logan for the win.
That was quick.
yeah. Logan for the win.
Yeah. What we got next?
Wrong match.
Yeah. Oh, damn it. I'm gonna squeeze a yeet in before we finish.
Go for it.
So we have. Let's go. The World Heavyweight Championship. Let's go that way, because I want to talk a lot longer about the women's title. So we have
time.
One of the most interesting wrestlers on the roster right now, Mr. Drew McIntyre, against Seth freaking Rollins, a possibly injured and battered Seth freaking Rollins, for the World Heavyweight Championship. Dude, we've spoken before for quite a few months about Drew. After, I think it was Clash at the Castle, Drew, how can I put it? He did become more outspoken, but he became a lot more vocal on social media about things. He's literally picking and choosing his subjects that he wants to talk about. And I don't know if it's the fact that either they've kept the contract signing really, really quiet and he's signed up for long term, or they're literally living off this handshake deal. But I think it's given him a freedom where it's like he's thrown his arms up in the air and gone, "Hey, I don't give a stuff anymore. I'm going to do what I want, say what I want." Excuse me. And it has been so good
It
to see
really has.
him rinse CM Punk, killing his WrestleMania dream, injuring him, winning the chamber or stealing the chamber match. It's so good. I don't know if it's written for him. I don't know if it's booked that way. I don't know if it's him just saying, "Look, this is how I want things done," and Triple H has gone, "Yep, okay, that's cool." But I love it. Absolutely love it. Drew for the win. Seth's going to get even more of a beatdown, and I think he's going to take some time off. Not 100% sure, but I think he's going to take some time off. That's my shout.
I have a hard time disagreeing with any of that. It's like you're talking and I'm nodding right along with you, my friend. DM Hunk, which I think is just a great play on it. There has to be some sort of freedom that comes with anybody that says you have carte blanche. And yes, wrestlers don't have complete autonomy, but there's got to be something about, wow, there's no way they could have scripted him to be able to be as clever as he's been, to pull in like even things like, what did I have to do to be tied to a dumb? And so clearly a CM Punk callback when he's complaining about Seth Rollins
Mm-hmm.
from Brawl Out. I mean, it's very deliberate and very funny. It's hard not to, right? And they're forecasting a feud between Punk and McIntyre when he's better. Now, what has come about, even in listening to the Hawani interview, it sounds like Punk is going to be doing commentary for this match.
Yeah, he announced on Raw 2 weeks ago, I think it was, or was it this week? I can't remember, but he said he's going to sit there and be special commentator.
So, I mean, if you're special commentator, then you're not necessarily physically involved. Will he be a factor? Because, well, he doesn't like necessarily either guy, right? So if you don't like either guy, and for purposes of scripting this, I think he's going to be great on commentary. I don't think there's any doubt about it. His mouth still works pretty well, so that's going to be, as he said. I'm sure commentary is going to be just as fun with who you're going to have there involved. And I think the match is just going to be it. I think Seth has done an amazing job defending that title, carrying it. He's re-elevated himself to a value. He's a valuable commodity, and there are very few in the company that you could say he's valuable. You don't want to lose him. McIntyre's another one, right? These guys are valuable to elevating others, but they do such a great job themselves, and fans gravitate to them. Him being injured and having surgery and recovering is important too. I can't see him leaving, even though his contract is up in the air.
No.
His value is there, and if given the opportunity to compete, he does a great job, right? So, and that's okay, because when he loses a title, he comes back as that hungry, but I think his body needs to rest properly.
Yeah,
he doesn't jeopardize his career lifetime, because you don't want to be not able to hold your kids at the end of the day. Those things are important, more so. So, yeah. But that whole family, there's things to wonder about what's going to happen with them in a few months anyways. So
I reckon he, as I said, I reckon he's going to take some time off. He's going to get some surgeries done if they need doing. He's going to rest and recuperate, spend some time with his little one, and then come back and maybe interject himself in the feud between Punk and Drew, because Punk's still off for at least another 3-4 months, which is plenty of time for Seth to kick back and relax for a little bit.
Well, it definitely would bring him back, say, SummerSlam, CM Punk, if that's...
Yeah, exactly. That's one way of going. I'm thinking this could be a sleeper match of the night, but it depends on the beating that Seth took the night before and his selling of said beating. If he's selling the beating from the night before, don't expect a match of the night. But if he's like taped up, raring to go kind of attitude, then yeah, it's very much got the possibility. I still think the match of the night is going to be the match after this, but I'll talk to that in a minute. But yeah, it's nothing but a Drew McIntyre win and well deserved. And finally, he can celebrate in front of us fans because man, was he was absolutely he should have had fans when he won that title first time round.
And where is Clash at the Castle going to happen?
Exactly. It's in Glasgow or Glasgow.
It's in Glasgow. Glasgow. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Come on.
He's going to walk in there to a hero's reception, and that place is going to pop, absolutely pop, because where they're having the Clash at the Castle, the Hydro, is where ICW have held a few of their pay-per-views, and he was a major part of ICW. So you can imagine that everyone's going to go to watch their boy.
Are you going to try and make it out there?
Oh, I would love to, but I think lack of finances and, more importantly, my wife would
okay.
put pay to that. I would love to.
All right.
Do you know what? I actually looked at tickets to go to the one in Cardiff, and the ticket prices themselves are extortionate. Once the major chain hotels realised there was a show in town, they put their prices up, which in turn put the Airbnb prices up, which means that I couldn't go. But never mind. I shall sit at home and watch a pay-per-view at a very decent time. That's what I shall do.
I am still trying to get tickets for Money in the Bank, but they're only selling them as a 3-pack. Basically, the SmackDown the Friday, Money in the Bank the Saturday, and then Heatwave on the Sunday, which is the NXT show. But if I don't want to go to all 3 shows, why do I need to go to all 3 shows? So here we are, weeks after it's been released. I go to the ticket provider, and they'll be released when they're released, kind of thing. And so you're stuck.
What, a single tickets?
There is no single tickets right now. They're all sold as 3 days.
So they've got really single tickets at some point, surely.
Surely, but neither one of us is named Shirley, so I don't even know when that's going to happen.
I mean, I know I can see the benefit of buying like a 3-pack of tickets, folks. Nothing else. We're not that kind of podcast. Of like as you said, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Hold on, is they doing Raw there as well?
No, they're doing Raw in Ottawa, which is on Monday.
Yeah, I would say it's up the road, but it's so not.
We're talking single person, right? Single. So if you wanted to go with somebody, you're looking at minimum $600.
Whoa!
Because that's a lot. That's a lot of money for 2 people, right?
Yeah.
One person, and I'm saying minimum, and I don't know based on seatings. I'm guesstimating $100 a night. SmackDown might be the cheaper one, but they've bundled them all. So right now, I'm still waiting. That's July. Right?
Is it back at the Scotiabank?
Yep. All 3 nights.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
Well,
they've been very deliberate. I've never seen of any event being really bound by by a package deal.
I've never heard that before. Neither
have I. Neither have I.
Wow.
When they did Survivor Series, you were able to get now a different. Maybe this is part of new ownership. I don't know, but maybe they feel like they'll sell Heatwave better if they bundle it. That I don't know. No disrespect to NXT talent, but I'm just.
I don't know. That's just very strange. Very strange.
Yeah.
But hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, and every other thing I can think of. You grab some tickets and take Steve with you.
Yeah, potentially.
Okay, so I mentioned a couple of minutes ago about what I think is going to be not just match of the night, but match of the weekend. In my opinion, this is it. It's for the WWE Women's title. It is Bayley against Io Sky. This story, oh my God, this story is so good. Absolutely so good. I cannot get enough of it. I was trying to explain to Logan, my wingman, about it earlier because he dips in and out of WWE. So I have to kind of get him up to speed on a few things. And even he was like, even just based on what I told him, no package, no vignettes, just on what I told him, he was like, I want to see that match. I'm totally all in, 100% all in on this match. It's Bayley for the win. She's going to overcome the odds. She's going to slay the giant. She's going to get that title. She's going to be relevant once again.
I'm with you with that. And I think people are a little disappointed with EO's title run. I feel like, and that how much of that is on her, right? Like she can go. She's super capable of doing amazing things. But if she's not booked to do them, she doesn't do them, right? Yes, she hits beautiful moonsaults and she can compete and strike and do wonderful things, but her title has been very protected because why? She can't promo like others because her English isn't as strong? I don't know, but she's certainly capable of more. But she's held the title since May? June? When did she catch it?
I can't remember. It's been over is it over a year?
No, it hasn't been a year.
No, it's under a year. Sorry, yeah, it's just under a year. Sorry.
She beat Bianca. I want to say it was at SummerSlam. Even did she beat?
It was. It wasn't Yeah, it wasn't SummerSlam. Yeah. Because I think it was. Yeah.
I mean, and it's great that she's held the title, and it's great that Kyrie's back. But I, for the way the wave of things are going for Bayley, the fact that this is more of a generic face turn, fans have gotten behind her. It's kind of hard to not see her come away with it as the win. It was so important for her to try to elevate everybody around her.
Yeah.
Give Bayley her flowers and her opportunity to be in that position again, because it has been a few years, right? Between injuries and whatnot. Yeah.
This really is the throwback podcast, isn't it?
It really is. It really is.
Giving her flowers. See, I can throw it right back at you, It's absolutely fine. If you want to be down with the kids, that's fine.
I want to be down with the kids.
But going back to EO, for anyone who saw her stuff back in Stardom and in NXT when she first turned up, wow. As you said, she can go. She can wrestle. She can do the high-flying stuff. She can do the technical stuff. She can tell a story in the ring. She can go. I think that the reason why she hasn't really done a lot on the main roster is because, as you said, she can't cut a promo. And I'll put an asterisk next to that. I don't know if it was Raw or SmackDown, but she did a sit-down not sit-down interview. Basically a sit-down where she was telling Bayley to camera why she's done what she's done. And she spoke it all in Japanese and there were subtitles. Wow. You can't understand what she's saying, but you can read the subtitles. But the venom in her voice, her cadence, everything else that she put across, it was a really, really good promo. Really good promo. And it finished with Bayley busting in and them two having a brawl.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking that they caught on late that she could actually cut a promo. So they protected her, knowing this was going to be the end of the story. They must have booked this when she won the title. That at Mania, she's dropping the title to Bayley. They need to keep that title on her all the way to Mania, not knowing she could actually cut a decent promo. That's what my thinking is. Yeah,
I mean, they've done that with Shinsuke recently too, where his promos are so menacing, so deliberate, so vengeful, but you know what, if it's stronger in Japanese, let them. And okay, your audience has to read. What's the big deal? Hopefully you're able to read as you're watching the show.
Well, but you get rid of Kevin Dunn, and you get these you get promos like this that's spoken in a foreign language. You get the walkthrough from Gorilla straight through out into the arena. You get all this new, inverted commas, things that other promotions have done before, but Kevin Dunn was just reticent to do it. He was stuck in his way. So he's been put out to pasture and Christ knows what else. And this new guy's come in and he's completely freshened up certain aspects of it. I mean, I can watch a match now and don't get seasickness because there's 20,000 cuts in a 2-minute match.
Yeah, well, that's what everybody should be able to do is watch it and not have a headache, or make sure you're not reaching for something that will prevent you from like passing out.
I was reaching for a beer, but
Yeah.
whatever floats your boat. But yeah, it's Bailey's to lose. It's all her.
Yeah.
The Damage Control girls are going to get involved, and up until 2-3 weeks ago, when Mercedes joined AEW, I thought Sasha was going to come back for maybe one night only and help her get over the hump. Maybe Charlotte turns up. I don't know. Who knows? But it's going to be a banger of a match.
Outstanding.
Okay, we're at the end. We're at the end of our story, and I think Cody is going to be at the end of his. It is the main event of the entire weekend. It is Cody Rhodes against Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. I mean, come on. Cody. I swear to God, if Cody loses this, they might not have a company come Monday because the fans are going to burn it to the ground.
I don't know why I'm so trepidatious about this match, and because with what I had mentioned earlier, potentially is one thing, and then it's where do they value this streak, this reign going? Do they want it to surpass Hulk's? Is that the goal? Is it not the goal? If that's the goal, then you've wasted 2 years of people's time and energy and effort and being on this journey just because Cody has just been a foil for them to get him to continue. Because who is valuable enough if he doesn't lose to Cody that beats him? Like, Seth is hurt. Is hurt. Sheamus isn't around. McIntyre's preoccupied with another one. This is a very perplexing situation if he doesn't lose, and if Cody doesn't win.
I don't think it's even a point of anyone being around that can step up. I think it's the fact that, as you rightly said, 2 years has gone into this feud, 2 whole years, and it's got to be Cody. I know we were saying exactly everyone at home, you guys at home, the people online, everybody was saying, oh, it's got to be Cody. It's got to be Cody. And then what happens? They completely swerved us. And Triple H at that time said, do not worry, we know what we're doing. And you know what? That absolute bastard was right. They all knew what they were doing. They knew they were going to get to this point. Now, for them to swerve us again and for Triple H to come out Monday morning and go, we know what we're doing, will not fly. Not this time. It's got to be Cody. If Roman goes off into the sunset, so be it. If he's got a movie career, if he's got a podcast that is not going to interfere with ours, go do it. But take some time off. Come back. Do. I mean, he's on a part-time schedule anyway. Do a Brock thing. Do the Hogan schedule. Whatever. Come back and be the special attraction. But it has to be Cody.
Yeah.
And more importantly, and more importantly, your little girl wants it.
Oh my gosh. I can't deal. Thankfully, she fell asleep last year. This year, she might take a nap in order to watch this at the end. I don't think I can cope with that kind of disappointment from a child. Not at all. Not at all. So I think we're both of the Cody winning it. Who gets involved? If it's bloodlines rules, who gets involved?
Do you remember? Do you remember Jericho's 1001 moves or holds? I've got a piece of paper that long with people that could get involved.
Let's go for it. Shoot them out there. I think this is part of the fun.
You've got the entire bloodline. You've got oh my God, I've lost my piece of paper. Hold on. No, it's gone. Right, off the top of my head, you've got the bloodline. You've got any of the Anoa'i family that's not joined up. You've got Tamatonga. You've got anyone that's got a grudge against Cody. I mean, Cody is the babyface of all babyfaces. He is an
Right.
old school babyface, back from the 70s, let alone the 80s,
Right.
where he's just against, he's toiled against it all to get to this point. And he's got a couple of friends who may come out depending on how Seth gets through his match. I can see Jay getting involved to help Cody, but it's going to be an all-out brawl that's going to come towards the climax of that match. I had a whole list of bloody names and I can't find them. But yeah, it's just take your pick. Bloodline rules.
So Bloodline rules means anything goes. So if anything goes, that means, like you said, so we know that from the Rock Anoa'i side, who could possibly, we could throw any number of names. From Cody's side, yeah, we can see anybody that's Cody's friend, but anybody that feels wronged by the Bloodline. So yeah, it could be Jay, it could be Seth, could be Kevin Owens, could be Randy Orton, but it could be Brock Lesnar. And the only reason I say that is who's been the biggest foil in Roman's career, really the last years since
5
he
years.
won and lost the title.
Yeah.
He's still listed on the roster. And who to best secure that Cody wins, but the guy that shook his hand and hugged him and basically gave him his blessing to ensure that the story continues.
I mean, that is a reach. That's a serious reach.
That is a reach because we don't know where he is legally with all those implications. And the only reason I threw that out there, because it's a reach, is it's a fun reach. And I think that's why it's fun to sometimes fantasy book.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that's part like, oh, we know him. Oh, we know him. Oh, and as many people as might be fighting against Cody, maybe there's people that are going to fight with him to ensure that he finishes his story because he's not doing it alone. And I think that's what makes this match as interesting. It could be just a big mess of bodies, which I think is what we're ultimately going to get. And I think people are almost expecting that, but some surprises could be really, really, really special, right? I mean, does TK and Dustin Rhodes have a handshake?
I was about to say that.
Like, do they, for the benefit of Cody in this story, does he? I don't know.
Stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened for one night only. Maybe he doesn't come back as Goldust, and maybe he comes back as Dustin. But could he get involved? Could he be in the crowd and get involved that way? Maybe he's front row with Brandy and everyone else. But I don't know. But
well, another reporter, notable guy, Sean Ross Sapp, he jokingly put out and so it's Monday, April the 8th, 2024, and what's her name? Liberty Rhodes has just beaten down Ava Raine, and then who was it? Brody, Amanda Hubert says, and then Brody King Jr. jumps over the barricade, and he gets. It's funny how literally it's fighting into the next generation.
Seriously, 15, 20 years. You what? Yeah.
It could be.
So we're both saying it's Cody. We're both saying shenanigans among shenanigans among shenanigans. Of course, say that 3 times fast. Yeah. That's and then obviously the fireworks going to go off and everything's happy in the world of WWE. Wow, we did it. We made it. We've got to the end of our longest pod yet. Thank you, man. I've absolutely thoroughly enjoyed this. We haven't really connected like this for a while, but this has been good. Are we going to watch along on Saturday?
We will try to some extent. I know we will be distracted. I'll be in and out getting stuff from an oven. I'm sure you will be too. And we could easily have it on and I think what always bothers me with the watch along is spoiling it for you. I don't know how it happens. Either I get super excited or you're like, oh, and then or it happens vice versa. I'm like, what happened? What happened? What did I miss? There's a slight delay, but we make it work. We have fun with it. So I'm sure we can.
You folks at home, for the big pay-per-views, like any wrestling pay-per-views, we'll have a video chat. And I think there's about a 8 to 10 second delay, and Mark will see things before I do. And he does his best to stifle it, but you can see he will either go to jump off the settee and stop himself, or he'll go to say something, and you see his cheeks puff out like a puffer fish, to try and like, oh, I'm gonna keep quiet. So yeah, it's good. It's a laugh though. It really is. I love it. Cannot wait. Maybe we could. Oh wait, I'll tell you what. Oh wow, I had no idea. I know you've got to go soon, but how about this? You know the drunk cast.
Yes.
How about we do the drunk cast, but we do video as well as audio?
Oh my God.
There we go, folks. If you want it, just let us know, because obviously when I spoke about the drunk cast, we did get inundated by quite a few people saying, yeah, do it. I'm not too sure if you want to see two middle-aged men get absolutely drunk whilst talking wrestling, or maybe you do. You know, I don't know. Whatever floats your boat. But just let us know. And on that bombshell, folks, again, dude, thank you for this. This has been like therapy for me over the past 6 weeks, just having a chat with you about wrestling and whatever. You guys at home, you guys and girls, you people at home, thank you so much for staying tuned, staying with us, listening to us rabbit on about this. And thank you. So we'll do what we normally do. We'll finish with our socials. I am at _Mark_Blake on both Instagram and the Twitter. Mark, what is yours?
You can reach me at one of a couple. There's either at the Mark Madison on Twitter, or you can reach us on our website social at Pro Wrestling PST. Also on Twitter. On Instagram would be at Pro Wrestling Post.
I'm just going to finish up by saying that I personally don't push or talk about the people at Pro Wrestling Post enough. They are absolutely amazing people who do great work and deserve, in Mark's words, all the flowers they possibly could get. So yeah, get yourself over to the prowrestlingpost.com. Check them out. There's a couple of my old articles in there which, you know, are gathering dust. But you never know. I might get the itch one day soon. So yeah, go over there, read them. Honestly, they're just so good. They don't just entertain. They give you some intellectual stuff too. So let's go. Let's go home. You've got to go. We're 3 minutes late. You've got to go. I got to go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you so much. Once again, we will see you very, very soon. I promise you, if you get me flying solo very, very soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye.